his smile is turned up right here. This is the same guy. It's the same name. He's from the US. He got into a car accident. Okay. So it's the same dude. It's the same name, Joel Rodriguez. I can't find him as an actor anywhere. I find the same name but different people. He got into a car accident. If you have surgery on your spine and neck, chances are you aren't saying to your wife, "Hey man, that's the cards. You got to do it, man." No, because you don't know how that surgery turned out. So I believe this was scripted, but I also believe that the Army is, look at him. He's got his hair slicked back in a man bun, but you see his brows are done for the camera. He looks, if you watch my other video, he's the demographic that is popular with Netflix and with the West right now. Well, with the US, right? And look at Prince Harry looking at him like, yeah. Prince Harry is so troubled. He is, oh shit, I'm sorry. He is so troubled. I'm going to be doing more on that interview. I think sometimes just watching him and then reading what he says is so important because he is just insane. Even I realized that the caption was not keeping up with the video. But looking at this guy, yeah, okay, so we're looking at, let's go here. It's 2022. This is 2019, June 27th, 2019. Okay. Almost 3 solid years ago. Okay. You do change if you're in a wheelchair. I don't know if any of you guys have ever been incapacitated. I have worked with quads, paras. He's a quadriplegic. I've worked with quads and paras. They try to have a really positive attitude, but they're not generally thrilled about their situation, especially a young guy like that. Also, you can lose your ability to have socks because you don't feel anything down there. The kid is definitely the same. I mean, oh no, what did I do with this? Oh shit. Uh-oh. Okay. Tomes 23 mentioned his smile was turned up. Yeah, it is turned up. But I mean, he's being groomed for the camera. And it's just the angle too. And he got into a car accident. Tampa. U.S. Army retired Staff Sergeant has shown through adaptive sports that if he was retired, so was the accident in the military when he was in the Army, or was the accident, like, when did he retire? He must have been active duty, but it just says he was in a car accident. It didn't really say much about it. In 2014, he was in a devastating car accident that derailed his Army career. The accident left him with a fractured neck, severe spinal cord injury. I'm sorry, if you have surgery like that, I don't know if you wake up the next day or not, or if you're even really able to. You're not able to really. If he had surgery, there could have been the thought that, hey, I could possibly get some feeling back and do something with my hands or legs or whatever. I could learn how to, do something. I took care of a paraplegic once. It wasn't something I really didn't like. I didn't like the job itself. It was a home health aide job. And I didn't find taking care of him to be good. Um, I'll tell you why. I was in my 20s. I took care of everything perfectly for him, but it was too uncomfortable because he was like 19 and the age was too, it was too, I should never have been. He made many different types of flirtatious comments with me, and I went on vacation, and basically I stopped going there. He had like more of a grandma figure take care of him, and that worked out better for the family. And quite frankly, I was relieved, because I had to drive quite a distance and get up at like 4:30 in the morning to get there on time. And he did learn after his rehab, even though he was a paraplegic, he was able to do like raise his arm with a brace to try to brush his teeth. And so quadriplegic is all four limbs are gone. A para is, your legs. As far as quads, paras, amputees, I have worked with patients that, for example, I worked with one guy that was retired. Well, he had to retire. Got into a motorcycle accident, and he broke his entire leg. His femur, knee, tibia, fibula. Well, the whole leg had to be amputated. One was amputated from the hip down, or above the knee, I'm sorry. And one, they did it below the knee, and so he had lost both legs. He was a cop in Madison, Wisconsin. He was on a Triumph? Either a Triumph or a Norton, and there was a big rally in Illinois, and they were driving back up to Wisconsin. Semi hit him, and that was it. I got him when he was out of the hospital. We were trying to heal the fracture in his femur, I believe his left femur, if I'm not mistaken, so that he could be fitted with a prosthesis, so he at least had one prosthetic leg. I think that is what happened. And he was not a happy camper. I mean, I remember I was at the University of Wisconsin Hospital. So the doctor, I can't remember which doctor it was that I was working with. And it was we had to keep it they had to keep him quiet, calm. And he just requested, he was very good with me. He opened up to me. I always called to check up on patients. That's part of my job. We had a bone stimulator on his left femur. Okay. And I would call him at home. He was at home with a home health aide and all this stuff, trying to function as like a 40-something, maybe 45-year-old man that used to be a cop and a motorcycle person into basically not having legs. And he called me back one day, I think on a message on my cell or something, or a message on my machine at the time. It was in the 90s, late 90s. And he said, "I'm sorry, I haven't called you back. I've just been so depressed, I couldn't even talk to anyone." The younger guy I was telling you about also was in a motorcycle accident, completely paralyzed. And he was so depressed. And his mother was just so And we were successful in getting his leg healed for the prosthesis, the cop. The kid really messed his head up, mainly because of the way his family was treating him. It was like, you've ruined our life. That's the vibe I got. And he's just like trying so hard to overcome everything. And he can't move, and he's like 19. Good looking kid, too. He was just bitter and angry and nasty. And so was his family. Everybody was around him. It was the worst environment I've ever been in. And then there are other, but those are the two that stood out. So when I see this guy, it's hard to get like someone that looks the part. But this guy looks the part, doesn't he? We're in an age where your disability has nothing to do with what you can do. Find something you love and work hard at it. I mean, no one could ever say that that's great. And that's true. I did a video on my leg, which I did not put up. And what I've gone through and go through with it, which is pretty tense for me, but that's okay. I blow it off. Just like what he said. I mean, just blow it off. That's what I do anyway, but sometimes it's hard. So he was in a car accident that derailed his Army career. And it's the same name. And, look at the kid and look at the wife. The kid gives it away, but it doesn't look like the kid has grown much. Let me go back to this. It's the same guy. I mean, he just looks styled for Netflix. For NBC, but of course for Netflix too. It was a too highly stylized event for me. It was we've got to get the right demographic. We've got to hit the right person, for me personally. But Netflix, the Obamas control a big portion of Netflix, or did. There's some issues after they aired some specials. It's on one of my other videos. Netflix basically many of their customers just dump Netflix. Okay. Okay. So yeah, I mean, someone, Tommy's 23 said that the smile, the smile's going up here too, but it all depends if he's in the middle of talking right here though. And yeah, I mean, I see something going up there, but he's, like I said, he's very stylized for the camera. I don't know many men that have 100% perfect brows like that unless they get them. I know for a fact that they thread and wax men's brows all up and down nearby where I live at the various salons and shit. Let's go back to this. I mean, yeah, that's the same guy, but then this one, I mean, sometimes they just use names. Just a heavier guy. You can't really tell the hairline, but yeah, I mean, the sides are the same, aren't they? Megan's style. Yeah, I mean, in a way. And your hairline can change. I'm going to go ahead and tell you it can. So we can't really tell here, though. This is obviously short hair. The dude's in the service. Sometimes they just will choose the right looking person that's an amputee. Okay. And then they'll sort of say, oh yeah, okay. I don't think this is the same person. But there's a real strange similarity because this is, you're in combat. This is in what year? 2016. He's 37. I don't know. But he's a staff sergeant for the Army. And this guy's a staff sergeant too. So this is fucking me up. This guy's a staff sergeant Joel Rodriguez. And people could say, oh, that's no big deal. That's so common. I don't know. Is it? I don't know. I don't know why this one bugs me. As far as the wife and kid, well, I mean, the lighting's different. I mean, she's obviously indoors, I believe, here. And in the Harry video, they've got her, outside. But the teeth. Where are the kids, the wife and kids? Right back here. Shit. But doesn't he look the part? He looks the Netflix part, doesn't he? So I thought this Invictus Games was for Europe and Great Britain. Oh my gosh. Oh, okay, here we go. I mean, that's the same kid. Maybe he is a little bit bigger. Okay. It's hard to tell. But that's the same woman. I mean, you can't see because she has the big glasses on. I mean, I'm not sure exactly what's going on with this family, and I feel bad for them. But she's just Mexican with curly hair, I believe. If I said something before to offend anyone, I want to apologize. All right, here we go. I mean, that's the same kid. Of course, he's got a hat on. Looks like he's pretty young here. But that's the same chick. Okay, keep looking. That's the same kid. Now this guy does look a little bit different. Now, another thing I noticed is, I don't know how much money this guy's bringing in, but I'm not sure. Nothing in this states that he was in active duty service. How did this car accident happen? I mean, it could have been a DUI. We don't know. He was retired. Okay, so what if, see, this disability shit is tricky. I knew someone once that, of course, right? Her husband was in a car accident while he was driving from Wisconsin to Illinois to do recruiting for the Marine Corps. And this dude had a bod on him. Whew. I would see him, and I saw him a couple times when he was picking. She was I'm not going to say. I mean, I've seen him in his dress uniform. I was just like, holy shit. This dude had a bod like he works. He works in intelligence right now for this fucking CIA, And they went from pretty much scraping shit to, because of the kids. He had child payment or whatever. But I mean, they just by no means, I mean, his salary wasn't like, I mean, they bought like what's probably now close to a $2 million property after he got that job in Virginia. And then she's just like doing her thing. And One of the things that kind of weirded me out about that, and she knew how much money I was making and stuff like that, or what I was up to and all that. But all she ever talked about was how much money her husband made. That's all she talked about. And it was during the Trump primary time, and she just was so anti-Trump. But prior to that, I'd known her from way before 9/11. She was like such a staunch supporter of, the conservative / Republican agenda at the time, when Bill Clinton was president for sure, and all during Bush, 9/11 and all that shit. And she was telling me different things. And then she gets married to this dude. And she had was a single mom who never got married. And, supported this kid by having a very low paying job. And all of a sudden he gets, but he got into a car accident while he was driving in a U.S. military car. Therefore, when he retired after his 20 years, he got retirement pay plus disability pay, which, my dad was getting, I don't know if I should tell you, what the fuck, he's dead now. Close to $4,000 alone, just on his disability, which is a lot. Especially if he's got, I think I just did another video. This guy still has commissions coming in that my mom they're still paying it for whatever reason. I don't know. When you're an independent contractor, that's sort of the way, I have, no idea, but my mom said that they're not going to, that there's like 3 or 4 different companies. And because unfortunately had to look at some of their, I hate looking at other people's money and statements and stuff like that. It just makes me so uncomfortable. But when I was helping my dad to get an apartment, I had to present and take pictures of and upload his bank statements to show his direct deposit payments. And I was like going, oh, holy shit, I didn't know that. I felt guilty when I borrowed, I felt guilty when they spent $20 on me to take me out for a fish fry and a couple of beers. Oh, just a couple months ago. I'm like, oh, I feel really guilty. I should be paying, and I'm like, I was a little bit shocked. Actually, a lot. Because he had 2 checking accounts with around the same amount. And I was like, holy bleep and bleep. Wow. That's just hanging out in there in your checking account. Yeah. I have no idea. See, this is the problem, I've got to deal with right now. But it took him 7 years to get that payment. 7 years. And then Trump helped veterans so much. And he was so thankful. And now Biden is allocating much of the veterans' money to the Afghan refugees right now. I want you to think about that. But that's the same kid. And it's just, you have to remember, this is a few years later. And it's different lighting, and it's completely different setup. It's not for Netflix. Let's bring it up. Can we bring this up? Oh, why? What in the world would it? Oh, this is insane. You know what? Why do I have such issues with this? I bet you guys yeah. So this is the same dude. It's the same car accident, Staff Sergeant Joel Rodriguez, car accident, left him paralyzed. Tattoos. Here you can't see it. And he's wearing a jacket that covers his arms here. But he's when I say Netflix, he was probably somehow on that special. Well, I guess wait and see. A little gray in the temples. I mean, the lighting is different. But the mouth is the same. The name is the same, and the car accident thing is the same. And he's a staff sergeant, so the rank, everything. Okay. The kid is the same. The wife is the same. She just looks a little bit different in this lighting. As far as this picture goes, hard to see the hairline here. The hairline above the ears is the same. The nose, the way it flares out. The time frame here, this is 2016. When Obama was still president, the president, the peacetime president. I don't know where he was. Does it say? Big innocent smile, big brown eyes. I have a collection of letters. Okay, he was in Iraq. I guess he could have been more than that. Okay, he got hit by an IED and never fully recovered, physically or mentally. He was diagnosed with PTSD, TBI, anxiety, among many physical health issues, was honorably retired for his disabilities. He tried really hard. He fought a battle at home, a battle he wasn't trained to fight in the military. He suffered in the hands of an abusive marriage, pressure to keep up appearances, and pressure to pretend nothing was wrong with him, financial stress among everything else that he was diagnosed with. My brother lost his battle on that fateful day in February, which we didn't get to say goodbye. We didn't get a hug, not even a smile. This has been an absolute worst pain. Oh, he killed himself. Okay. Okay. The siblings he misses fighting over the remote control of his niece, Lexi, that he referred to as my best friend. He talks about her to her Disney, talking to her to Disney. He talks about her taking her to Disney because Uncle Joel wants to spoil her. He earned many medals and ribbons, Purple Heart. What is TBI? PTSD, anxiety among. Okay. He was retired. And he was also an Army Staff Sergeant. Okay, this is getting too weird. Okay. So what happened? And why do I find this to be so weird? Okay, I just find it to be weird. What kind of a car accident was this dude in? Okay. Yeah, he's doing much better here in 2019 because, Trump was president. Yeah, I mean, he's made up for the camera. It looks like they even did his eyes a little bit. He looks like a male Megan. Look at the nose quick. See, all you need to do is just put a little powder, a little white powder down the middle of your nose to make it look smaller. It's just some girl's makeup tip. Because I do it all the time. I think it was I think CoverGirl discontinued the color I was using. I left it up at my condo. Okay, well, we're going to have to do the rest of this interview then. We don't even need the audio. I mean, yeah. Okay, so were they just making up heroes for this? Because they look good? And it's the right demo? The non-white demo? Yeah, I said it. I'm going to have to control myself. Okay, just some thoughts. You don't snap out of surgery like that and just are like, because you don't know the outcome. It's too, like, what kind of surgery did he have? Like, but if you have surgery on your spinal cord and your spine, are you having surgery to heal the bones? And do you know for sure, 100%, that you're going to be paralyzed? And then the day after, you're talking like that? I don't know. As someone that had surgery like that after an accident, I'm going to go ahead and tell you, I cannot remember what I said or did after my motorcycle accident. I was completely out of it. I was on morphine. I was on Demerol. I was on Toradol. I went back and got the medication list from the hospital. At the time, I easily did that, and I looked at it, and I had it itemized per day what they were giving me. And it's like, no wonder I went into complete amnesia, because I was in so much pain. It didn't stop. It just never, ever stopped. It just was so intense. That's all I remember. And I just kept going, oh. And they had me in a room with someone, and she requested that she get the hell away from me because I kept crying. I don't even remember it. All I did was cry and go, oh. And they kept coming in with like ice packs and morphine and Demerol, and I just never stopped. So they put me off in some room alone and shut the door. I remember that. They even were giving me, with all that shit I just told you, and I weighed a lot less. I mean, God, I used to run every day. I think I weighed about in my 120s, at 5'7". I think I weighed about 123. And they were even giving me OxyContin, 2 tablets at a time. Yeah. So, yeah, I'm going to go ahead and say I don't know what to believe. So